We were in Texas, and they had just kind of opened up a little bit, and this was months ago, and so anyway, we were playing this event. It was on in a parking lot, and there were a lot of people there, and I wasn't sure what I was gonna share, but I knew that I needed to kind of update myself more on the stats of the coronavirus, because sometimes at the events that we're playing, since we are touring in the middle of a pandemic, some people will say some pretty harsh things, and then there's a lot of people that show a lot of support. But every now and then you have someone come up and just, let us know that they're not happy that we're, there's a pandemic and you guys are touring in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm like, oh, well, because you're here at our concert. That's kind of... Praise the Lord! I think we're both in the same boat right now. But no, we just know there's a lot of hurting people. I mean, I was a drug addict. I've been in and out of jails and institutions since in trouble with the law since I was a little kid, And I know what it means to wake up in the morning and wish that you didn't. I know that kind of pain. I know what it means to feel alone, even when you're around 1,000 people. And it hurts, And I was getting lots of messages from our Seventh Day Slumber family, saying, man, we're hurting, different people writing, people that had 9 years clean. They said, man, I relapsed. Been on lockdown and I can't take it, and now I'm about to lose my wife. People writing saying I started cutting again. I can't take being away from my friends at school. I mean, just stuff. And we're like, man, we got to do something. But I know I heard the voice of God when he said go, and that's why we're out and doing these events, is because we believe in a living God that still puts broken people back together again. Amen. And we believe that he's called us to do this, and that's why we went. But I was getting ready, and I thought I'd just kind of update myself and see what the new stats were and stuff. And I was on YouTube and I was looking at this briefing that was going on. And when it was over, it was a pre-recorded briefing, and when it was over, this other video popped up. And I think I had typed in stats, or maybe coronavirus stats or something, but the word stats or statistics was there. And so YouTube will just kind of feed you whatever it wants. And so right after that was this video, and it popped up, and it said 3.6 seconds. It was a black background with white writing and this kind of music going on. And then it said every 3.6 seconds. And I'm like, ooh. Tap the screen to make sure it wasn't longer than 2 minutes, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't have to bypass it. And then it said every 3.6 seconds a child dies of starvation. And I'm like, And then it started showing pictures of 8-year-old kids and 6-year-old kids with arms that big around, and I'm like, man, I wasn't really prepared. I've been to some of these villages, and I've held some of these very children in my arms, man, these kids that are starving, but I was prepared for it. You got to get your mind right, and you got to. But I wasn't ready. I was in coronavirus mode, I guess. And I think it's easy to do because that's all you hear about is COVID. You know, that's all you hear about. You don't hear about suicides and drug overdoses anymore. You're not hearing about, people that are starving to death and abuse and all the different things that I guess the news used to report. And so you can get kind of tunnel vision, but anyway, it broke my heart, and I was like, man. And then the next video was Mother Teresa, and I was like, ah. And you can't change Mother Teresa. So anyway, she's behind this podium, and it's bigger than she is. And she's talking to these looked like powerful men. I don't know if they were. They were in suits, and they were behind this big desk. And I imagine they were important, and maybe she was talking to them because they had the ability to maybe make change. What I gathered. And she said, and she was talking about being in Calcutta, India. And there's an alleyway there, by the way, there's a lot of alleyways, but the one that she was talking about, there's a lot of kids that they starve to death every single day. And then every day they take them out. And I don't want to get too graphic, but anyway, and so I'm just setting the stage for what she's talking about. But she said that there was a little girl, and she told her to come here. And she knew the little girl was starving to death, and she needed to eat, and she needed food now. And she called the little girl to her. She gave her a piece of bread, and the little girl would only take little bitty crumbs, and she would just kind of, I guess, hold them in her mouth until they dissolved. And Mother Teresa said, I told her to eat. She was telling these guys. And anyway, she wouldn't eat. She would just take those little crumbs, one by one. And Mother Teresa was like, I told her this is for you. Eat. Why won't you eat? And she asked her. And the little girl said, because then it'll be gone. And I got 3 kids. And I'm just like, dude, this is heartbreaking, Being so hungry that you're starving to death. But you're scared to eat because you don't know if you'll ever see food again. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't thinking about the coronavirus anymore. And I'm not trying to minimize the coronavirus deaths in our country and around the world. But these kids not only are dealing with the coronavirus, because remember, it's worldwide, but they're also, that's the least of their worries, the coronavirus. That's all we hear about here. That's the least of their worries. They're dying of starvation. Every 3 seconds or so, a kid dies of starvation. Anyway, it was hard to, I was trying to process it right before I was getting ready. It was like less than an hour and I was going to be on stage. And I didn't really know how I wanted to share that story. And I didn't really know how to do it, and I didn't know where to put it in the middle of like certain songs because I didn't want it to lose it. It's a powerful story and a reminder that we got it pretty good here, even with the current situation that we're in. The thing we were lacking in the middle of this whole pandemic was toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? And people talked about, well, food would be There'll be no more food, and everybody stacked up their freezers, probably some of you. And God, we're ready for this big food crisis. Meanwhile, we're ordering Uber Eats, you know, and Domino's Pizza still delivers, you know, and you could still get whatever you wanted in this land of plenty, except for toilet paper. I don't know. But you were willing to fight somebody in the Walmart over some toilet paper, weren't you? I don't fight, but I'm ready if I have to. You can't take 2 rolls. That's 2 cases. Anyway, look, tonight I'm not here to make you feel bad or to talk down to you or any of that stuff. You know, I'm just a guy. I'm a flawed individual who is in love with Jesus, and I thank God I'm nowhere near where I used to be. I'm not where I want to be, but I thank God I'm nowhere near where I used to be, and it's God and only God that deserves the honor and the glory for that. You know what I mean? But tonight, at our table, you know, you're going to see merch and you're going to see all that stuff. But there are pictures of children, and I'm begging you tonight, don't let it just be another packet. Don't let it just be another spiel. You know, for just over $1 a day, for the change in your couch, you can, well, for less than the price of the new Call of Duty game that you're going to beat in 2 days and sell it back to GameStop for 1/10 of the price, you can keep a kid alive. For less than the price of a few Red Bulls and a bag of Cheetos, you know, or some Starbucks coffee, give a few of those up, and this kid gets to live for a whole month, eat for a whole month. I mean, like, that's keeping it real, but that's too real to kind of say it like that, so I won't. But at our table, because it's easy for me to tell you to give up stuff. That's the easy part. Hey man, why don't you give up your Xbox and sponsor a child? Hey, why don't you give up your, I guess I gotta say PlayStation now. PlayStation. Or whatever, give up your internet. You know, nobody's gonna do that. That's why it was such a joke. Internet's got us. But no, but it's easy for me to tell you to give up a bunch of stuff. And we sponsor children, but tonight, I still have merchandise at my table. So, I can tell you to give up stuff, meanwhile I'm selling you merch while there are hungry children. And so tonight, if you decide that you want to sponsor a child, instead of buying something from us, you can literally have one of everything off our table. Pick you 2 t-shirts as well. I don't know if we're going to have all of yours. You may get one shirt that has your size and the other one is a schmedium, you know what I mean? Some of you dudes are walking around and it's like up here, trying to sport it. It's confidence. You got to have confidence. But no, I'm serious. It's $36 a month to keep a kid alive, and there's no contracts. No one's going to come looking for you. You know, your car's not going to be up on a, wrecker if you didn't make a payment on your kid that month, I had someone tell me that in Texas. Brother, I missed a payment on my kid last month. I'm like, dude, you know you're not buying this kid, right? Like, you don't get the kid after a few payments. And then, hey, where's my kid at, Joe? It's been like 3 months. You sell it to somebody else. You're supporting a child. You're sponsoring a child. You're not buying. Nah, but I thought that was really cool, man. Like, to be concerned about missing a month. That means something, man. And so anyway, but once again, there's no contracts, and if it happens, it happens. Like, at least you're doing something. So anyway, no judgment, but I'm just telling you that tonight at the table, you can literally just take one of everything off our table. I don't know what all we have. I know we have posters. I know we have a couple of our CDs. We have 13 out, but I think we only have 2 or so on the table, so you can have a poster of those. Drumsticks, I think we have hats. I don't know if we do. We have masks. We have, I don't know, bracelets. Whatever's on the table. Some of you have already been out there. You can have all of that stuff, and then pick 2 t-shirts, like I said, while the the sizes are available to you. But you can take a small if you don't, for your kid or whatever. But anyway, thank you for letting me share that. I don't feel like I did a good job, to be honest, because I just feel like it deserves more, and I just, you know, but I hope and I pray that in my fumbling around, that the point got across, you know, and so it's something that we believe in, and we've supported these at least 2 organizations for 20 years, because we know where the money goes with Child Fund and with Compassion. Those are the 2 that we've supported for 20 years. So not that the other ones are bad, we just don't know where the money goes. And these 2, we know that the money gets to these kids. So thank you for letting me share that. If you did already buy something and you're like, oh man, you know, then you can still go to the table. And my wife Lori has the curly hair. She's extremely beautiful. And if you put her next to me, it looks like she lost a bet. But that's my wife Lori. And you can say, oh, I just, you know, bought a t-shirt or whatever, but I would love to sponsor a child, and she'll hook you up with all the rest of the stuff, everything. I told her that I wanted it to sting. I don't want it to just be another spiel. But I wanted to feel it too. And so that's why we're doing this. Anyway, this is a brand new song called Eternity. It's off our brand new worship album that we just released a few months ago. And it's our current single out right now. And so I think all the stuff that I've talked about with the pandemic and with just everything going on, it's easy to get caught up looking at your screen, whether it's your device, your phone, your TV, whatever it is, and sometimes without even knowing it, we're running to these things for comfort. We're running to these things for peace. We're running for these things for a little bit of hope. And what happens is we're never ever at peace. We have moments of peace, but you're never at peace because you're looking to people who don't have it figured out themselves. And so anyway, here's God with his arms open wide, and we're running right past him. The only one who can give you peace, the only one who can give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. I'm talking like a crazy peace. Like people looking at you thinking you're crazy for having peace in the middle of what you're going through. Peace in the middle of a pandemic. How do you have peace in the middle of a pandemic? How can you have peace in the middle of lockdowns? How do you have peace when your husband is cheating on you? How are you so calm when you have a kid who's locked up right now? How do you have peace? How do you have peace? It's a peace that surpasses all. You can't explain it. The peace that only comes from God, man. And we're running to things and we're running to people to find that peace. What you're looking for can't be found in the bottom of a bottle. What you're looking for can't be found in the bottom of a bottle of pills. What you're looking for can't be found in a pipe. It can't be found at the end of a razor blade cutting yourself. What you're looking for can't be found in making yourself throw up. Or running from relationship to relationship to relationship, abusing your body. What you're looking for can't be found in an affair or on the internet. Man, what you're looking for can only be found in the arms of Jesus Christ. I promise you that. And he's speaking to you. This is eternity.